The planets were dying. Space was quiet. Too quiet. The galaxy known as Sector 19 had once been full of life. Dozens of planets had cities, lights, and peaceful people. But now something terrible was happening. One by one, the planets were going dark. No screams, no warnings, no wars, just silence. It started with Varnus 3, a small trade world. Its space traffic stopped. Then its communication signals stopped. A scouting ship was sent. It never came back. Then Telos Prime vanished, a planet with 6 billion people. Gone. Then Archon 7. Then Namos. Then Daria 4. All fell. No one fought back. No weapons were used. There were no survivors. It was like a ghost was moving across the stars, killing planets without a sound. The Vindicator. Watches far from the destruction, hiding behind the rings of a cold gas planet, floated a single human warship. Its name was the Vindicator. It was not large. It did not have the newest tech, but it was fast, smart, and built for one thing: survival. Captain Rael Morgan stood on the bridge. His face was calm, but his eyes were sharp like a hawk. He watched the empty screen in front of him. "Still no signal from Daria 4? He asked. His first officer, Lana Chen, shook her head. "Nothing, Captain. It's gone, just like the others." Rael didn't move. He already knew the answer before he asked, but part of him had hoped he was wrong. "How many now?" he asked quietly. Lana looked at her tablet. 9 confirmed fallen, 4 missing, and we're next, according to the pattern. Rael looked at the stars outside the glass. Somewhere, out there was the enemy. An enemy who didn't talk, didn't send ships to fight, just made planets vanish. And Earth Command was still silent. Orders: watch, but don't act. Rael opened a message on his console. It was short. From Earth Strategic High Command Status. Observe only, do not engage. Stay hidden. Wait for further. Orders. He almost laughed. "Wait for further orders," he muttered. "While planets die." Lana heard him. "They're scared. If we move too early, we might start a war we can't win." Rael turned slowly. "And if we wait too long, we won't be around to fight at all. The crew feels it too." In the ship's small mess hall, the crew sat quietly. No jokes, no games, just worry. Lieutenant Rex, the weapons officer, slammed his cup on the table. 9 planets, and we do nothing? Engineer Cora, a calm woman from Mars, shook her head. "What can we do? One ship can't stop whatever this is." Rex leaned closer. "What if we're not meant to stop it? What if we're meant to slow it down? Just enough for Earth to prepare?" Cora didn't answer. No one did. Everyone knew what was coming. They just didn't know when. Something moves in the dark back on the bridge. The alarm pinged. "Unidentified movement," Lana said quickly. "Near the edge of the system. Looks like multiple ships." Rael stepped forward. "Show me." On the screen, black shadows moved in space. No signals, no heat. Almost invisible, but they were there. Dozens of them. "Is it them?" Lana whispered. Rael didn't answer. He didn't have to. It was the Zareth Dominion, a name known only in whispers. A race that did not ask for peace, did not demand surrender. They simply appeared, and then everything died. A decision must be made. "They're heading toward the colony on Arcos 2, Lana said. "A small planet, mostly farmers and miners. No military, no defenses." Rael stared at. The screen. Earth Command would say, "Stay hidden." Protocol said, "Don't risk the ship." But his heart said something else. He turned to his crew. "I won't watch another world fall. Not today." Lana stepped closer. "Captain, that means disobeying orders." Rael looked at her. "If Saving lives means breaking rules, then so be it. He pressed a button on the console. All crew to battle stations. We're moving to intercept. The warship that refused to wait engines roared to life. For the first time in weeks, the Vindicator moved. No longer hiding, no longer waiting. The ship jumped into faster-than-light speed, heading straight toward danger. Rex was already warming. Up the cannons. "Weapons ready, Captain." Cora activated the ship's energy core. "Shields at 95%. We're good to go." Rail stood at the center of it all. "We don't know what they are. We don't know how they fight. But we know this." He pointed to the stars. "They think we'll just fall like the others, but they haven't met humanity yet." The calm before the storm as the Vindicator approached Arcos II. The stars around them looked peaceful, but the crew felt it, in their chests, in their bones. Something was waiting. The enemy ships were silent, black shapes, almost like shadows. They did not answer hails. They did not react. Rael narrowed his eyes. "This is it," he said. "The moment we stop watching and start fighting. One ship versus many." The Vindicator flew through space like a knife through darkness. Its engines roared quietly as it neared Arcos II, a peaceful colony with no way to defend itself. But something waited above the planet, the Zareth fleet. More than 20 ships, cold, silent, deadly. Captain Rael stood on the bridge, eyes locked on the screen. "Distance to Arcos II?" he asked. 30,000 kilometers, said Lana. "And closing fast." Rael didn't blink. "Time to wake the beast." Disobeying Earth command. A red light blinked on the console. Incoming message. Earth High Command. Stand down. Return. To patrol. You are not cleared for engagement. Rael stared at the message. His jaw tightened. He didn't reply. He simply deleted it. Lana looked at him. "You just ignored a direct order." "I know," Rael said. "And I'll answer for it later. If there's a later." She didn't argue. She just nodded. Everyone on the bridge understood. Rules couldn't save Arcos II. Only action could. Preparing for battle below the bridge, in the weapons room, Lieutenant Rex loaded the ship's plasma. "Torpedoes." "Targets are bigger than anything we've faced," he said. "But size means nothing if you hit the right spot." In the engine core, Engineer Cora fine-tuned the power output. "If we burn too hot, we'll be fast, but our shields might crack. If we go slow, we might not reach the colony in time." Rael made the call. "Burn hot." The Vindicator wasn't made to run. It was made to strike hard, fast, and without fear. Zareth makes first move. Suddenly, alarms beeped. "Enemy ships changing formation," Lana said. "They've seen us." Rael narrowed his eyes. "What are they doing?" "They're splitting," she replied, confused. "Half are going for the colony. The rest are heading for us." Rael's voice grew sharp. "They plan to destroy Arcos II while keeping us busy." "Cowards." He slammed his fist on the command panel. "No more games. Target." Their lead ship, the first human shot. The Vindicator spun in space, aiming straight at the center of the enemy fleet. Rex shouted, "Locked and ready!" Rael gave the order, "Fire!" A glowing plasma bolt shot through space, burning like a sun. It hit the lead. Zareth ship dead center, boom. The explosion lit the stars. The Zareth ship didn't just break, it vanished, gone in one blast. The rest of the fleet paused. For the first time, they looked unsure. Humans aren't helpless. The Zareth had taken down 12 planets without a fight. They thought humans would be the same, but now they had lost a ship, fast, and brutally, and the Vindicator wasn't slowing down. Rael barked orders, full power to front shields. Rex, fire again. Cora, keep us moving. Lana monitored the screen. 3 ships incoming, high speed. Rex fired again. Another Zareth ship exploded. The third tried to dodge, but the Vindicator turned fast and cut it in half with a railgun blast. 3 ships down in 2 minutes. The rest started pulling back. The colony speaks, a shaky signal came. In it was Governor Trin, the leader of Arcos II. "Whoever you are, thank you," You saved us, Rail replied. This is Captain Rail Morgan of the Vindicator. Stay hidden. We'll keep them off you. Governor Trin's voice was full of disbelief. One ship did all this? Rail gave a slight smile. One ship is all. It takes when you stop waiting. The enemy regroups, but it wasn't over. Lana's voice was tense. Sir, the rest of the Zareth fleet is coming back. 10 more ships. Rail stood tall. They know we're a problem now. Rex grinned. Good. Let's give them something to remember. Earth reacts back on Earth. Inside a giant command center, the alarms had started to ring. General Malrose, head of human defense, stared at the screen. What is the Vindicator doing? A young officer answered. They've destroyed 3 Zareth warships, engaged in full battle. The general's face darkened. He disobeyed direct orders. Yes, sir, the officer said. But he's winning. General Malrose stared. For a long time. Ready all fleet commands, he said. If this turns into war, we may all have to join it. The sky was full of shadows. The stars around Arcos II were now full of dark shapes. Zareth ships, huge, black, and silent, moved like ghosts in space. Their armor looked like stone. No windows, no lights, no sound. They had never spoken to anyone. No messages, no warnings, only death. But now, for the first time, they had met resistance. And that resistance was the Vindicator. The calm before the second storm inside. The Vindicator. Red warning lights flashed across every screen. The ship floated between the planet and the enemy fleet. Captain Rail stood at the center of the bridge. His face was calm, but his fists were tight. Status report, he said. Lana Chen, his second-in-command, answered quickly. We've taken no damage so far. Plasma reserves at 60%. Railguns reloaded. Shields at 84%. Rex, the weapons officer, grinned. They're regrouping. I think we scared them. Rail nodded. Good, but don't think they'll run. The next wave will be smarter. He turned to Lana. Any communication from them? She shook her head. Still nothing. No hails, he muttered. No warnings, not even a threat. What are they? No one had the answer. The enemy. Adapson, the screen. The Zareth ships changed formation. Lana's eyes widened. That's new. They're learning, Rail said quietly. The enemy ships now moved in a tight triangle shape, sharp, clean, and fast. They watched our attack, Rex added. Now they're planning one of their own. The first real Strike One Zareth ship broke from the others. It came straight toward the Vindicator. No weapons detected, Lana said. It's not firing. But Rail wasn't fooled. Prepare countermeasures. Rex, lock on. The black ship charged like a bullet. It moved too fast. Suddenly, a strange blue light opened on its front. A beam of pure energy burst out. Boom! The blast hit the Vindicator's side shield. The ship rocked hard. Cora, the engineer, called out from the engine room. Shields down to 61%. That thing hits like a star. Rail shouted. Return fire. Everything we've got. The Vindicator. Strikes back, Rex launched 2 plasma torpedoes. The Zareth ship twisted to dodge, but too late. Both torpedoes slammed into its side. A flash of white light exploded through space. The enemy ship cracked down the middle, tearing apart into burning. Pieces, one down. But more were coming. A new kind of war. 3 more Zareth ships came forward. This time they stayed together. They're covering each other, Lana said. They're using tactics now. Rail's voice turned cold. They've never needed tactics before. We're forcing them to learn. Rex spoke fast. Should we fall back? Rail shook his head. No, they're testing us. If we run now, they'll chase. He stood straight. We hold the line. Arcos II is behind us. A risky. Move Rail opened a private channel to Cora. How fast can you charge the pulse cannon? Cora sounded worried. We've never used it in battle. It's unstable. I don't care, Rail said. Charge it. The pulse cannon was an experimental weapon. One shot could disable multiple ships, but it had never been tested. Cora began the charge. 15 seconds, she said. 10 seconds of hell. The enemy fleet began to fire. Blue energy beams lit the dark. The Vindicator shook again and again. "Shields at 42%!" Lana shouted. "We can't take much more." 8 seconds, Cora called out. A blast hit the front of the ship. Sparks flew from the ceiling. 5 seconds, Rex shouted. "They're getting closer!" Rail gritted his teeth. Hold! Fire! Now!" Rail yelled. The pulse cannon glowed like a newborn sun. Then, boom! A giant wave of energy exploded from the ship's core, spreading like a shockwave. 3 Zareth ships were caught in it. Their systems sparked. Lights flickered. Then, dead. They stopped moving. "Direct hit," Lana shouted. "They're disabled." Rail's voice was calm. "Finish them." Rex fired. 3 plasma rounds, 3 ships destroyed. The crew cheered. First, contact. Then something strange happened. One of the Zareth ships, badly damaged, sent a signal. Rail stared at the screen. "Is that a message?" Lana nodded slowly. "Yes, but it's not in any known language. It's symbols and music." The bridge fell silent. For the first time ever, the Zareth spoke. The message from the enemy captain. Rail Morgan stood in silence as the alien message repeated. The Zareth ship was badly damaged, but it had sent something strange. Not words, not a demand, just symbols and a strange melody, deep, slow, and cold. Lana frowned as she watched the screen. "It's not a language I recognize." Rail turned to his crew. "What are they trying to say? Is it a warning, a threat, or something else?" Cora, down in engineering, listened from her console. "Captain, I've been studying the pulse. That sound, it's not just noise." "What is it then?" Rail asked. She paused. "It's data, encrypted, like a memory." "Memories of the dead," Rex leaned forward. "Wait, you're saying the Zareth didn't just send a message, they sent us something from their mind?" Cora nodded slowly. "Yes, maybe from their ship's memory core, or something deeper." Lana added, "Captain, they never spoke before. Why now?" Rail's voice was low. "Because now, we hurt them." He looked at the screen again. "And they didn't expect pain. Earth responds. Too late, a new message came from Earth Command. Vindicator, you are ordered to stand down. Retreat immediately. Cease all action. Do not engage further." Rail didn't even bother to answer. "Stand down?" he muttered. "After saving a planet? After discovering their first message?" He deleted the message again. Lana looked at him. "If you keep ignoring them, they'll mark you a traitor." Rail turned to his crew. "If following orders means letting the enemy win, then I'll wear that title proudly." The Zareth regroup. New Zareth ships appeared on sensors. Not 20, not 30. 50 warships. They moved slower, heavier, but with more armor, more power. And this time, they came in silence. Lana's voice trembled. "They're coming for us, Captain, a full force." Rail took a deep breath. "Then it's time to use the one thing they didn't expect." Rex grinned. "The pulse cannon?" Rail shook his head. "No. Something better." The human mind Rail called a full crew meeting. "We can't outgun them," he began. "We can't outrun them forever, but we have something they don't." He pointed to his head. "Imagination." The crew stared. Rail explained. "The Zareth fight like machines, patterned, predictable. They don't know chaos. They don't know fear." He leaned forward. "So we'll give them both. A new kind of weapon in." The lower decks, Cora and her engineering team got to work. They combined power from the shields, pulse cannon, and comms system to create something experimental. Not a gun, not a missile, but a signal bomb. Cora explained, If we launch this into their command ship, it'll overload their network, blind them, confuse them, break their coordination. Rex smirked. We're not hitting them with weapons. We're hitting their minds. Rail gave the order. Prepare the signal bomb. The trap rail sent a fake distress call to draw the Zareth in. We'll act weak, he told the crew. We'll look like we're trying to escape. Rex added, let them smell victory, then slam the door in their face. The Zareth fleet moved closer. They formed a V shape. Big, slow, and confident. Rail waited. Hold. The enemy ships entered the kill zone. Hold, he whispered. Now, the unexpected strike. The Vindicator spun sharply and launched the signal bomb. It flew straight into the middle of the enemy fleet and exploded silently. No fire, no debris, just a burst of invisible energy. And then, the Zareth ships stopped moving. One by one, their systems began to flicker. Weapons shut down, engines stalled, formations broke apart. Lana shouted, "It worked! Their ships are crashing into each other!" Cora confirmed it. "We overloaded their shared AI link. They don't know what to do without orders." A human. Advantage Rail stood tall. "We just showed them the one thing they can't copy." Lana smiled. "Creativity," Rex added, "and chaos." Space was quiet. Again, after the battle, there was silence. Dozens of Zareth ships floated lifeless in space. Some burned, some drifted. All were broken. The trap worked. The signal bomb had blinded their fleet. The Vindicator was still standing. Captain. Rail Morgan stood at the front of the bridge. The stars outside looked calm. Too calm. Rex leaned back in his seat. "We won, against 50 ships. Can you believe it?" Lana didn't smile. "This wasn't a win. This was the beginning," Rail agreed. "They'll be back with more and smarter." Messages. From the shadows later that night, Rail sat alone in his quarters. He opened a new file. It was the strange Zareth message they had received before the battle, symbols, music, and data. He played the sound again, a slow, cold tune. Like metal singing, he whispered to himself, "What were you trying to tell us?" He didn't know why, but the sound made him feel something. Not fear, not anger, sadness. "Earth sends a warning." A sharp beep broke the silence. "Incoming message." Earth Strategic High Command Rail opened it. This time it wasn't a short warning. It was a direct message from General Malros, head of Earth's defense. The screen showed an old man with hard eyes. "Captain Rail Morgan, you have disobeyed 3 direct orders. You have engaged in unauthorized combat. You've attacked without approval." Rail listened without moving. "And you've saved Arcos 2. You've taken out over 50 enemy ships. You've shown us the enemy can be hurt." A pause. "But now, they know your name, and they'll come for you." Return order. Denied, Malros continued. "We are preparing defenses, but we cannot risk revealing our full strength yet. You will not return to Earth." Rail raised his eyebrows. "They're cutting us off?" The message ended with one final line. "Stay hidden. Do not let them follow you home. You are now Earth's shadow." The crew reacts. Rail gathered the crew. "We've been ordered not to return." "Not yet." Murmurs spread. Cora looked confused. "We did everything right. We won." Rex shook his head. "And that's why they're afraid. Because if we lose now, they lose everything." Lana asked, "What do we do next?" Rail looked around the room. "We keep going. We find out what these things are. We learn before they do." He looked at the stars again. "And if they come again, we hit harder." A strange signal from the dark just as the crew returned to their posts. Lana spoke sharply. "Captain, we're getting a signal. Weak, not Zareth." Rail walked to her station. "Where's it coming from?" She scanned it. "From the remains of one of the first fallen planets, Nemos." Everyone went quiet. Nemos had been gone for weeks. No signals, no survivors, only silence, until now. What kind of signal? Rael asked. Lana frowned. It's a distress call. Human, but old. Rael nodded. Plot a course. The risk of hope Rex looked uneasy. Captain, this could be a trap. It could, Rael agreed. But if there's even a small chance someone's alive, he paused. Then we have to try. Cora looked up. After everything we've seen, you still believe someone survived? Rael stared. Into space. Humans don't die easy. A signal from the grave. The human warship, Vindicator, flew through empty space. All around it, stars blinked quietly. Silent, peaceful, deceptive. Captain Rael Morgan sat on the bridge, eyes locked on the screen ahead. Approaching the Nemo system, said Lana, watching the radar. Signal is still there, weak, but real. Rael nodded. This planet died weeks ago. No messages, no survivors. Rex frowned. Then why is someone calling for help now? No one had an answer. But the Vindicator flew forward, because hope was stronger than fear. The ghost planet. They entered orbit. Below them, planet Nemos looked broken. Black smoke still rose from the cities. Huge scars ran across the surface, as if something had sliced it open. No signs of energy, Lana said. No life readings, except one. Rael leaned forward. One, she nodded. Deep underground, a small signal. Human tech. Could it be a trap? Rex asked. Rael's voice was steady. Only one way to find out. Landing in the shadows, a small landing shuttle dropped from the Vindicator, cutting through the dark clouds of Nemos. Rael, Lana, and Rex were inside, each wearing armored suits. They landed near an old research bunker. Its roof was torn open. The rest was buried in ash. The air was quiet, too quiet. Rael raised his weapon. Stay sharp. They found survivors. Inside the bunker, they moved carefully. The walls were cracked. Power lines were dead. Blood marked the floor. Then, they heard something. A cough. They turned fast. In the back of the room, under broken equipment, lay a group of figures. Thin, dirty, alive. A woman with tired eyes looked up. Human? Rael ran to her. Yes. We're here. You're safe now. The scientist speaks her name was Dr. Ceylin Rowe. She was a xenolinguist, a scientist who studied alien languages. She and 6 others had been trapped underground for 22 days. Most of the colony was taken in the first wave, she said weakly. We went underground, they didn't follow. I don't think they even knew we were here. Rael handed her water. You sent the signal? She shook her head. No, I didn't. Something else turned it on. Rael looked confused. What do you mean? Dr. Rowe whispered. I think they want us to find something. The ancient room doctor. Rowe led them to a deep tunnel below the bunker. There was something buried here long before the colony was built, she said. They entered a dark room covered in symbols. Carved into the walls were glowing lines, almost like writing. These are not Zareth symbols, Rowe said. But the Zareth know about them. Rex touched one. Feels old, Rowe added. The Zareth didn't just destroy this place. They were looking for something, the forgotten history. Back aboard the Vindicator, Cora helped decode the room's data using the old Zareth signal from before. The result shocked everyone. Lana read it out loud. We were not the first. We were not the last. The ones who burn. The stars came before, and they will come again. What does it mean? Cora asked. Rael's face was tight. It means the Zareth didn't start this war. New allies, Dr. Rowe and the survivors were brought aboard the Vindicator. Rael stood before the crew. These people survived when others didn't. Not because of weapons, but because of knowledge. He looked at Ro. And now we have that knowledge too, she replied. If you want to fight the Zareth, you'll need more than guns. You'll need to understand why they fight. Rael nodded. Then let's learn. Together. The Zareth scouted ahead far across the galaxy, near the edge of human-controlled space. A Zareth scout ship moved in silence. It was one of many. Their job was to search, to study, to report. This scout moved toward the quiet system known as Epsilon. Reach, a small sector. No major planets, no military stations. It was empty, or so they thought. Then it disappeared. No signal, no warning. No debris, just silence. Another ship vanishes. 3 more. Zareth scouts entered a nearby system. Their scanners picked up a strange energy field, weak but growing. Suddenly, that energy burst. Boom. All 3 ships were gone. Whispers among the enemy in. The dark command halls of the Zareth High Mind, the Council of Leaders discussed these vanishings for the first time. They were afraid. Humans are not like the others, one of them said. They fight when others fall. They hide what we cannot see. Another replied. They leave traps, but no bodies, no remains, just ghosts. A new name began to spread. Among the Zareth, the Ghost Fleet. The Vindicator's new mission captain, Rael Morgan, sat with Dr. Salen Rowe in the briefing room of the Vindicator. Since leaving Nemos, the ship had been busy. The survivors were recovering. The crew was working harder than ever, and Rael had a plan. He pointed to the star map. These are the systems where Zareth scout ships have vanished. All near human territory. Dr. Rowe narrowed her eyes. But Earth says we have no ships there. Rael smiled slightly. Exactly. The Ghost Fleet lives. The secret was buried deep. Years ago, Earth had created Project Silent Flame, a hidden fleet of experimental ships, fast, cloaked, untraceable. But after a political scandal, the project was shut down, or so everyone believed. Rael whispered, some of them survived, and now they're fighting in the shadows. Contact in the Dark Lana entered with news. Captain, we found something. A hidden relay satellite, old Earth design. They powered it on. A message played. This is Commander Harlan of the Shade. We are part of the Silent Flame fleet. We don't follow Earth anymore. But we protect it. If you find this message, it means the war is here. Stay in the shadows. Stay sharp. Make them fear the dark. Rael stood slowly. They're out there, Rex asked. Are we going to find them? Rael answered. No, we're going to join them. A new way to fight Cora, and the engineering crew began modifying the Vindicator. Old systems were upgraded with stealth tech. Weapons were rebalanced for ambush attacks. Sensors were turned into decoys. Dr. Rowe and Lana worked on decoding enemy patterns. Where the Zareth moved, what they ignored, where they were blind. Within days, the Vindicator was no longer a warship. It was a hunter. Fear spreads across the galaxy. The Zareth began avoiding entire star systems. Their scouts refused to enter human zones alone. Commanders questioned orders. One fleet commander sent a message to the Zareth High Mind. They are not many, but they are everywhere. They don't fight in the light. They strike in silence. The humans have become shadows. Earth still slept. Far from the front lines, Earth Command remained quiet. The war in their minds was far away, out in the stars, fought by brave ships like the Vindicator and secret forces like the Ghost Fleet. But in the underground chambers of Strategic High Command, most generals still said the same words. Wait, observe, do not provoke the enemy. They thought the silence meant safety. They didn't know the silence was a warning. A signal breaks through on the Vindicator. Alarms suddenly flashed. Lana Chen called out, Captain! We've just picked up a Zareth transmission. Strong. Directed toward Earth space. Rael's face tensed. Zareth don't send messages. This one is different. Lana replied. Encrypted, complex. It took our systems 10 minutes just to unlock part of it. Rael stepped forward. Let's hear it. The voice of the enemy. The message played. At first it was static. Then, a voice, cold, metallic, but clear. We did not begin this war. We were created by it. You fight, with courage, but you do not understand the cost. We destroyed your colonies to protect the future. Rael's eyes narrowed. Protect it from what? He whispered. The warning. Hidden in code, Dr. Rowe worked day and night to break the full message. After hours of decoding, she stood before the crew. There's more, she said. They included images, old star maps, records of dying worlds. Not human, not Zareth. Something older. She pointed to a series of ancient coordinates. These systems died long before we met the Zareth. Something erased them, and the Zareth were running from it. Rael asked the question everyone feared. What were they running from? The Ghost Fleet confirms a burst of static came through the long-range comms. It was a message from the Shade, one of the Ghost Fleet ships. Vindicator. This is Commander Harlan. We found a wreck near the galactic edge. Not Zareth, not human. Something massive. One shot tore through a moon. We believe this is what they fear. It's not coming. It's already here. Earth must listen. Rael knew what had to be done. Lana. Prepare a direct relay to Earth Command. She looked surprised. They might block us again. They can't afford to block this. The message. Earth had to hear. Rael stood in front of the camera. His voice was steady, his eyes full of fire. This is Captain Rael Morgan of the Vindicator. You ordered us to wait. We waited. Planets died. You ordered us not to act. We acted, and we survived. Now I bring you truth. There's something worse than the Zareth out there. Something coming. Something that already destroyed entire civilizations. The Zareth are not our only enemy. They may not even be the greatest one. Earth must prepare. The war you wanted to avoid has already begun. The silence breaks for 2 long minutes. There was no reply. Then, Earth Command responded. Captain Rael, we're listening. They came before the Zareth captain. Rael Morgan stood in the war room of the Vindicator. Around him, holograms showed dying planets. Not human, not Zareth, but something older. Dr. Salen Rowe stepped forward. The data from the Zareth transmission is clear. They weren't the first destroyers. Lana frowned. Then who was? Rowe replied with a chilling voice. The Zareth were running from something they called the silence that eats. The dead systems. The Ghost Fleet had confirmed it. Systems where stars had vanished, not exploded. Erased. Moons cut in half. Planets gone with no debris. Civilizations wiped clean, and near the center of it all, a strange repeating signal. Rael looked at the star map. That signal is moving. Rex asked, what kind of ship moves between stars and leaves nothing behind? Rael didn't answer, because he didn't know. The Zareth speak. Again another message came, this time directly to the Vindicator, from a Zareth war commander. It spoke in clear English. We watched your kind. We believed you would fall like the others, but you stood. So now we give you this. We will not fight you today, because something worse is coming, and when it arrives, even we may fall. The black signal Cora ran to the bridge. Captain, that same signal we tracked? It just passed through the edge of human space. Everyone froze. It didn't stop, she added. It didn't even slow down, but every satellite, every sensor it touched, is now dead, Rex whispered. It's not just a ship, is it? Rael said nothing. Dr. Rowe answered for him. It's not alive, not like us. It's a weapon, ancient, endless. And now, it knows we're here. The Zareth retreating systems across the galaxy, Zareth ships pulled back. They left occupied. Planets. They vanished from battle lines. They ran, not from humanity, from what was coming next. Earth Command sent a message. What could scare the Zareth into retreat? Rael sent only one reply. Something that doesn't care who wins. The enemy. Has a name deep within the decoded Zareth archives? Dr. Rowe found it. Not a name in words. A symbol. A shape. A massive dark circle broken at one side. Under it, one word in ancient text. Nullian. Rael stared at the symbol. That's not a name, he said. Rowe nodded. It's a warning. What is Nullian? Rael gathered his crew. This thing, Nullian, doesn't conquer. It deletes. No negotiations, no messages, just silence. Lana added, it doesn't leave bodies. It doesn't even leave wreckage. Just nothing. Rex looked uneasy. So how do we fight it? Rael didn't blink. We don't. The crew went silent. We learn first, we prepare. And when the time is right, we stop running, even if we die doing it. It had finally come. The sky turned black. From deep space, the Nullian arrived. Not a ship, not a fleet. A moving shadow, wide as a moon, darker than death. Every scanner failed. Every camera turned to static. Even the Vindicator felt cold, like something alive had just stopped breathing. Captain Rael Morgan stood on the bridge. The stars behind him had vanished. He whispered, "We've run far enough." Earth stood still across the galaxy. All human channels went silent. People looked up at the night sky and saw nothing. Where stars once burned, now there was only a hole. The silence that eats had arrived, and humanity was out of time. The last plan Rael gathered the crew. Nullian is not here to fight. It's here to erase. We can't match its power, Lana said. No, Rael replied. But we can slow it down. The Vindicator's final mission, Cora worked with the engineering team to build a last weapon. A deep-core graviton overload bomb, enough to collapse the Nullian's path for seconds. Seconds won't stop it, Rex said. They don't have to, Rael answered. They just have to give Earth a chance. Dr. Salen Rowe added quietly, and maybe, just maybe, let someone survive to tell the story. The Ghost Fleet returns. Just as Rael prepared for launch, a new signal came in. This is Commander Harlan of the Shade. Ghost Fleet is here. We stand with you! Across the sky, cloaked ships appeared. Dozens of them, old warships, broken hulls, painted black, but still flying. Rael smiled. Let's make history. The charge of the last ships, the Vindicator and the Ghost Fleet flew, straight toward the Nullian. They passed into the darkness, no stars, no light, just pressure. Rex shouted. Weapons offline, Cora yelled. Shields dropping. Rael didn't stop. Hold the course. Into the heart of the shadow as they neared the center, the Vindicator started to break. Metal screamed. Lights flickered. Systems failed. Cora cried, Core is ready! We can trigger the overload now! Rael gave one final order. Tell Earth we did not run. The message that reached home. Just before the Vindicator vanished, a signal burst out. It reached Earth. It reached every colony, every surviving human. Rael's voice. We are not gods. We are not machines. We are human, and we don't go quiet. Not anymore. The warship that wouldn't die. Then, white light. The overload detonated inside the Nullian. It did not destroy it, but it made the shadow hesitate. It paused. It pulled back, just a little. And in that pause, millions lived. The Nullian was not gone, but now it knew what humanity was capable of, the legend that followed. No one ever found wreckage of the Eye, Vindicator. No body of Rail Morgan. No core. No pieces. Only echoes. Some say the ship still moves. Somewhere inside the dark. A single warship, alone, watching the stars, waiting for the next battle.